Welcome everybody to the week of October 6th. This is welcome to October 6th. Welcome to Den Excelsior, the Most Marvel podcast. This is the week of October 6th. We took a week off.
We did take a week off, and also there was a weird thing that happened where the previous episode didn't
Yeah, it was
get
there was some
aired.
funk.
Yeah. So it's technically we've only been gone for 6 or 8 days, I think.
None of you messaged us to say that the episode was up incorrectly, by the way. So
yeah. Yes, that's our fans are busy. It's a busy time right now. Everybody's
yeah,
getting
no,
their
I
Halloween
completely get
costumes
it.
ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What are you
school
gonna be for
started
Halloween?
back. I'm gonna be the greatest podcast host in history. No, I probably won't be.
If you're going by numbers, that's a questionable person. So
So it's all relative, right? So whenever somebody watches this, if they're listening or watching this in the year 2075, it might be prophetic. You never know. It might just be me.
yeah, I would hope there's like a new thing aside from podcasts by that point.
What if it's the only thing by then? It's just
VR. I want to be on the in the metaverse by then.
it's just everybody streaming their conversations just for anybody to watch. That's what it is. Yeah. And just to be clear, as much as we make jokes about nobody commented, nobody said this, whatever. I mean, that's what this show's supposed to be, though. Is it's a conversation between two people who
Yeah, it's for
really
us.
Yeah, it's for us. But if you happen to enjoy it, that's awesome. But we are longtime nerds. We love Marvel. We love Star Wars for the most part. We love
We see the
DC.
metrics though. We see you there on our stream downloads. We see the views after the fact. So
Yeah. So
if you're not with us live, it doesn't matter.
we appreciate you, everybody who's there, not necessarily live with us, but this is what we like to do, preferably on a Friday night. It's debatable. Ricky likes Thursday nights, but I like to do this on a Friday night because I'm old and I don't want to go
There
anywhere
are
on
zero
a Friday.
songs about having fun on a Thursday night. So I think my night of choice Friday wins.
Yeah, this is us having fun.
Oh,
That's right. You're right. That's why this is the better night to do it.
fair enough.
Yeah. What have you been nerding out on lately?
Only Murders in the Building. Is that a nerd out show? It's a household
Yeah,
favorite. Did you
I
finish
like
it?
it. Nah, I kind of dropped off of that one for the new season. I think I'm on episode 5. Just because a lot of
Yeah,
stuff came out
kind of just
recently,
snuck
and
in there.
yeah, no,
It's
we
over,
were
by the way. It's
watching
all up.
it. Yeah, I know it's over. I know Reservation Dogs is over too. I finished that one a
I
week or
did not
two
finish
ago.
that one.
That one's a beautiful show. It's really good. But that's fair. Only Murders is a great show. I love it. I will get to it. But I know Our Flag Means Death just came out today. I love that show.
I have not watched the first season. Heard it's pretty
It's
gay in a good way.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of the twist, right? Is you don't know it's gay for a little while, and then it's super gay, and that's
It's like a Last of Us situation.
uh sure. I don't know. Yeah, I
I
guess so.
It's
Yeah.
weird. I don't like where this conversation's going.
But that's kind of the fun of it. Is it's a romance.
Yeah,
It's a pirate romance.
it's Taika and Martin Freeman.
No, not Martin Freeman. It's Reese Darby.
Oh,
Reese Darby's in all of Taika's old stuff. He's in a lot of his stuff. But it's a really good show. I haven't watched the new episode because it just came out today, or maybe last night. I can't remember. But I will watch that because that's one of the ones I nerd out on. I'm just curious, did you nerd out on Gen V at all yet?
I have not. Whenever we made the call not to watch, I have not had time. We talked prior as to why I don't have time. I had my dad over that took up time, so
Yeah.
it
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
was there wasn't. It's
could have
like
watched
3
it with
hours
him.
of content. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get my dad into.
It's 4 now. Or no,
He
it's not.
probably he probably
No,
would
it's
like
not.
it.
It's not 3 hours. The second episode was a half hour long. So I don't know how long the first one was, but the second one's definitely 34 minutes.
I don't think
So
my dad's ever been a TV guy, so I don't.
fair enough. Fair enough. I would say it's okay. So here's my thing. Here's my weird
Yeah,
thing about it.
pepper your
For
beef in.
anybody who doesn't know about Gen V, Gen V is a spinoff of The Boys on Amazon Prime. Now, The Boys is based on a comic book, and it's really funny because it's a comic book that's a takedown of the superhero universe or the superhero kind of story, right? That all the tropes and stuff there, everything
Mhm.
made fun of and turned upside down on its head. And that's cool, and I like that lane for The Boys. What gets weird to me, and I know that there's a comic, like this is based off of and stuff, but like what gets weird to me is when The Boys, which is operating as a takedown of other
Comics.
superhero stuff,
Mhm.
starts doing all the things that we've grown, I think, weary of from other comics. So like when you start doing the shared universe, like and start building more and more TV shows to make people watch and stuff like that. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have these shows. Like I just want to make sure that you're doing it with a reason, with like what is the story that it needs to be told. And I think that's the problem I'm having with the show is I don't really get what the story is yet. Like the first the first episode of The Boys gets you pretty fast, right? Because
Yeah, that's a
Huey,
good hook.
innocent human being who just has his life ripped apart instantly by this superhero, and then you're there, you're in, you're strapped in for the rest of the show. This one's it's taken a little longer for me to understand why I'm supposed to care about these
Did
college.
you watch Sky High with Kurt Russell?
I did a million years ago. I don't have fond memories of it, but
Okay, I think that tells me a lot. I have fond memories of that movie, but so I'm curious if I will like it on that premise.
I mean, no, you won't
Okay.
because it's not like that. But I mean, it's a show about superpowered people going to a university to be trained in one of several career paths available to superpowered people, right?
Mhm.
One is you could be a superhero. Another is you could be in advertising, right? Where you could use your gimmick to help like sell products and stuff like that, like, and it's a very narrow selection of choices that these people have. And it's just funny because it's like, okay, I get it. You can be one of those things and you go to school to get a degree so that you can officially practice your superhero stuff. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that like on paper, that sounds kind of boring, dude. Like, and what I've seen so far kind of is. So, um,
Well, kinda is boring is your review. I can't wait to watch it. You also watched The Creator, which I am very excited to see. I've not seen it yet. What'd you think of that?
oh, you didn't watch it yet?
I have not. I dude, no time.
Oh, I thought
I'm trying to. I might make time tomorrow morning to go see it.
I forgot that we originally said 2 weeks ago that if we watch The Creator between now and today, we'll do a Creator episode. I can honestly say I'm down to pass on that one
Yeah.
because I didn't like that movie. It's not good.
Did it look good though?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe the statement I gave to you on our little Slack chat was The Creator is in every way um, it's on par with Prometheus in both beauty and sci-fi dumbness. Like it is offensively dumb. Like my wife and I were really trying to enjoy it, and then halfway through, we just leaned over and start asking each other, like, "But wait, they just said that they didn't have to. No, wait, there's just tons of contradictions, tons of dumb logic, and just like it was dumbed down AI stories, and it's just like, okay, fine, it's cool. The
Well,
weird,
here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. I love Prometheus.
yeah, you do, you do,
Sign
you
me
do,
up.
yeah, go enjoy
I
it.
kind of know. I want to do a double feature this weekend with The Creator and the new Exorcist because I'm always on board for creepy devil children.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Hmm?
When I was
Oh, I know what I watched. Sorry, I watched No One Will Save You on Hulu. That's a great movie. Oh my god, that's a great movie. Um, it's the alien invasion movie, or it's
oh yeah,
like
yeah, Yeah. No, I was getting ready to watch that one, I believe.
They show you the things. It's not a
Oh no. Ricky, I did watch it. I watched it
okay.
with my
Did you
wife.
like it? That was a great movie. No,
Eh, it's okay.
I appreciate the fact they spoilers. You see the aliens pretty early on,
Yeah, yeah. They were the movie's okay.
and it's not
Like
almost all no dialogue in it too, which is really neat thing to see.
I like the movie better than the creator. Um, I think the thing that kind of weirded me out was like how much it was trying to tell me this story about the girl, and I just really wanted to like have her be more focused on the aliens at hand, like instead of
I
like
mean,
these
she's
personal
ready
troubles.
to go again.
I know. It was an all right movie. I just didn't. I wasn't scared by it ever. Like I didn't feel like
I don't think that was the purpose.
yeah.
But
They
it
were
was.
also they were also really dumb aliens and they just ran around naked all over the place and that was weirding me
I
out.
don't
Like
feel
that's
like most alien. I mean, we're the only creatures that wear clothes on this planet. So
that's not true. We definitely dress our dogs.
okay, we force our animal slaves to wear clothes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right.
Um, it's a yeah. I would give that one like 3 or 4. Three stars.
Great on Hulu if you have it.
Speaking of reviews, a little off topic, but I just want to get this in there before we keep moving on. The thing that my wife and I decided to binge this week was on a weird TikTok recommend of like hidden gem comedies that really people slept on. I went and watched 3 seasons of Review. It was a Comedy Central show a few years ago with I think it's Andy Daly, I believe that is the actor's name. Um, that show is so awesome. It's so awesome. It's on Paramount Plus if you guys want to watch it. It's basically this meta show about um, a show that reviews life experiences. So people can send a message into the host and say, what's it like to blank? And whatever it is, this character in the show is 100% committed to doing it, even at the detriment of his own life. Um, he does ridiculous shit. And the funniest thing about this show, it's done kind of like The Office or like mockumentary
Mm-hmm.
style, is it turns into like this crazy soap opera because every episode the crappy internet trolls that exist in multitudes are sending this guy out to go like do horrible shit to himself, you know what I mean? Like they're like, what's it like to steal? Like what's it like to kill? You know, like they're like asking him to commit crimes constantly, and for the sake of research he's doing it, right? And like they get him addicted to cocaine. Like the internet just is like having a field day with this character. And what's hilarious is it actually builds on it snowballs.
Mm-hmm.
His life spirals out of control as he does 3 seasons of this show. It's super funny. It's a hidden gem that I found and I highly recommend it. Um, Anybody who wants to just like watch chaos unfold, it's a good show. Watch Review.
Lego Masters and Shark Tank are back.
Oh, I know.
That's the last things.
Lego Masters is awesome too. Man, there's too much
Lego
TV.
Masters on Hulu is a cheat code, by the way. You get to skip. It's just I just want to see the shit built.
Oh,
I don't need the process.
Oh, I like the talking. I like
Some of it's good.
I love Will Arnett. I just love Will Arnett.
I met what's her name at the judge
not the same thing.
at
Amy.
at
You met Amy?
I met Amy at Comic-Con.
That's
or
pretty
walked
cool.
within 2 feet of her.
Okay, that's not the same thing as met.
I mean, I think legally we met.
No.
If I was in a court setting, yeah, we definitely.
No.
But Will Arnett is the best part of that show.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's our random review, our random recommends for the week. I think we'll turn that into something like eventually because we always have stuff to recommend. But that's not why people tuned in, I think, right? Because the title of the episode was Loki, season 2, episode 1. So we're going to be talking about that later today. But I think before that, do you have any news you want to talk about?
You know it. Kicking off with some news that came out earlier today. Matt Shackman, director of the upcoming Fantastic Four movie with Marvel, kind of gave a little update on his film in an interview with Collider. I won't go verbatim, but essentially, he implies that the cast is, or everyone's been casted, and once the actor strike is done, that announcement will be made. So, sounds like we're done. They're shooting, or they're aiming to start shooting in the spring. So this movie's gonna be coming down the pipe here, pretty soon.
Yeah, I just realized in the time that we've been gone, the writer's strike has ended, and so now we are just waiting for the actor strike to end. And you know, the craziest part about this, like the reason it's really useful to remember all the stuff that we recommend is because while it doesn't seem like there's a lack of content right now, these strikes that have been going on all year long.
Oh, it's gonna get weird in January.
Oh, it's gonna get weird all next year because there's gonna be an absence of new content. Like we're not gonna see new stuff until like late 2024. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get weird. So I appreciate that, they're still doing whatever business they can, but while being respectful of the strikes. And so that's awesome. I think that's really cool that that they're gonna be finally doing these things. So I what do you think? Who do you think of all the rumors, which one are you most excited for?
We should have made it a game where you pick your cast, and for everyone you get right, you get a point. But I think the Antonio Banderas Galactus casting, I think that is for sure. That if I had to put money on one of them or one of the characters that will be in that movie,
I want so badly for the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia to be Reed Richards, like so badly.
Oh, Glenn Howerton, right?
Glenn Howerton, yes. That
would be a pretty good read. Did you watch the BlackBerry movie? He's the founder of BlackBerry in that movie or whatever.
Okay,
but he's not bad.
Oh, he's a great actor, dude.
Yeah.
He's an awesome actor. He just doesn't get to show it off much, so I would love him to be Reed Richards only because I think it would be great to have somebody that has done Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the longest running sitcom in TV history, and one of the foulest TV shows, be a Disney employee. I think that would be great.
Well, they technically are, right? They're FX.
Technically, they are now. Yeah, so. Yeah, but they didn't start that way. But yes, you're right.
Well, you touched on it while we were gone. The writer's strike ended, and as a result, a little bit of leaky news came out about the upcoming Disney Plus shows. So basically, the copyrights for the shows got submitted, and they have a little brief description of what the first episode is. And I'd like to read them off for you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Agatha.
Spoiler warning, guys.
In the first episode, we see Agatha Harkness finally break out of a spell she's been trapped in. She can't wait to get back to her old murderous ways, only to find out that she is powerless. Sounds like a good show. Daredevil Born Again.
Wait, you think that sounds like a good show?
Has Aubrey Plaza on it.
Yeah, but who wants more Agatha?
Apparently a lot of people. She screen tests really well.
All right, fine. Keep going.
All right, Daredevil. Rivals Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk try to leave behind their darker alter egos to go serve the people of New York, only to have their past catch up with them. Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Another little nugget in this one, they have some casting, and there is a Frank Castle on there. So,
yeah, no, that I knew of.
okay.
I knew that everybody gets to come back except Luke Cage and Iron Fist now, right?
And Foggy.
Oh, and Foggy, yeah. But I meant like from the Netflix, different shows. I believe we're gonna get Jessica Jones back at some point soon too.
All right. Last but not least, Ironheart. Riri Williams returns from MIT to her hometown of Chicago in her iron suit and begins to unravel threads to bring down the danger that's right at her doorsteps.
The Mephisto?
Well, some more casting stuff on this one. Sacha Baron Cohen as Mystery Man.
Oh, dang. Oh,
You
dang.
can do some math there, see what adds up.
The rumor has been that he was going to be cast as Mephisto. So
I mean, Mystery Man could be anyone.
yeah, you know the weird thing is, and I know it just gets confusing, and it's a really dumb nitpick, but like when Mephisto shows up this late in the game, that's kind of weird. Like, where you been? Where you been, devil? Like, I thought you would have enjoyed all of the different things that happened in the Marvel universe, in the last
15 does he
years.
get? I mean, okay. Well, I don't want to. This can be a deeper conversation. Feel free to answer with a few questions, a few words. Mephisto, is Mephisto a god? Is the devil a god?
He's a demon.
Are demons god if people worship them?
I mean, I think
could Mephisto been in the Zeus place from Love and Thunder? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. I don't think he needed to be, but like I'm just saying, like it's a weird thing. But yeah, like I mean, in fairness, that movie introduced a ton of gods that were like, where have you been? So it's fine. I guess. Yeah. It's fine. Like, I mean, those questions are always going to come up because the problem is that the movies can only come out at the pace they come out at, which is like maybe 4 a year tops.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just too much story to tell. Like, that's why the comic industry is like, 30 titles a week are releasing and stuff like that, because they need to keep all the different areas of the universe that they're managing current, so that readers can just digest it all and be like, oh, and that ties into this and this ties into that. Like the movies just can't do it. They can't maintain the level of creative control that these comics do. So
well,
you got to cut them some slack.
Rounding out the news, we have some Marvel Legends that got announced during PulseCon. And you want to talk about creative control? We got some new faces. I hit the wrong button. We got some new faces.
Ain't that a bitch? They released. You know my biggest problem with this new Spider-Man No Way Home wave. Can you guess what my biggest problem with this wave is?
That it's cheaper? No.
So this wave consists of 3 figures that we've already gotten before. It's all 3 Spider-Man. It's
technically 2 figures that we've gotten before.
Sorry, yes, 3 characters that we've gotten before. Well,
they've all been made.
6 characters we've gotten before, but so the 3 bodies, 3 Spider-Man. One of them is actually Tom Holland wearing the suit that he wears in the last 5 seconds of the movie. People have wanted that. It's cool. It looks like Spider-Man, duh. And then there's a new MJ toy. And then there's a Matt Murdock with a new suited body. It's a nice suited body. It's pinless. It's a little buffer.
And a cane.
And he's got a real blind man's cane, which I could have used that in some of my photos a few months ago. It's great. He also comes with the brick that gets thrown through the window.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's funny.
yeah, and then the sixth figure is a slightly taller Sandman in his naked sand form. That's how he appeared in that movie, you know, so it's fine, you know, because Thomas Hayden Church couldn't actually make it on set for the filming of that movie. So they created a digital version of him and just had him come in and do the voice later. And so this is the CG character of Sandman, right? Here's my problem with this wave. Yes, it's annoying that we already got two of the Spider-Man released, but without the without the heads, you know, the without the actors' heads. And so they're just reusing those again and remaking us rebuy the toys we already got. Yeah, that's annoying. But what's really annoying to me is this is a card back wave. No build a figure. And then they go and release two exclusive or not exclusive deluxe figures separately of Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. And that Green Goblin is badass, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's
They're
so
both
good.
really good.
They're both really good. And they both have like awesome things going on. The Doc Ock actually has full bendy wire in those arms. They're really long arms, and he has two, they're reinforced bendy wire so that he can actually sustain his own weight on two of those tentacles. He can stand on the
That's
tentacles.
cool.
Yes, very cool figures. Not knocking those at all, but why couldn't one of those be a Build-A-Figure? And this is the problem I have ever since Hasbro started testing the waters with retro card backs. When fans started saying we miss the days of toys on cards, they gave this company license to say, oh, so would you rather have that instead of all the extra value you used to get with this line? So it just really grosses me out how many more figures I'm pre-ordering nowadays that don't come with a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, little freaks ruined it for everyone.
It sucks. I don't care about card backs. I will rip the box open immediately and throw it in the trash. So like, don't go to the extra trouble of making the card back for me, man. Just give me the toy. But I know there's other people that like it that better that way. It's just like they're Spider-Man toys. I feel like Spider-Man should never stay stuck in a box. He's like the most posable character ever. You have to pose Spider-Man.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a whole different conversation. Open your toys. They're meant to be played.
Yes, open your toys, guys, especially Spider-Man toys. It's so weird. It's so weird. So that's my 2 cents. I still bought them all.
Did you Shartimus's thing, Street Humans? Did you end up backing that or no?
I will be backing that probably. It looks like a pretty good deal. It's cool. I don't see, for me personally, I don't see the value of buying more than one of each of those two figures. I think their pants, it's like they're basically like thugs. Like they're like basically street people that you could have be background characters or be characters that Spider-Man or Daredevil's like fighting, you know, like whatever. They're just meant to look like, you know, big normal guys that like are just living in your neighborhood. And my problem with them is like they're not dressed differently enough that like
you need you need more than one.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense.
Or in some ways like their clothes are too different so that like one guy's wearing like this ridiculous green camo pants that like if it's cool if it's one guy, but if you have two of them standing around dressed the same, then it looks just weird. Then it's like,
I don't know. G-Unit looked pretty cool. Well, that's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, if you're going to like a party, that's cool, but like, it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I will back it because I think it's a cool thing, and I think it's awesome that toy collecting and toy photography and all these things are becoming more and more mainstream, and more adult collectors are trying to find ways to like squeeze into the door, get their foot in the door, and get a bigger indie side of things, you know, an indie market. And it's awesome that Shartimus, who went from being a reviewer and podcaster and all these things, like is actually doing the damn thing and making toys that will complement his existing collection of toys. And so props to him for doing that. That's awesome.
When we get to toy making status, what are you making?
just the most articulated wheelchairs ever.
I was going to ask their Daredevil cane or the Blind Man's cane Matt Murdock has. Is that like the first mobility assistance device in toy form that we've gotten?
No, I have a bunch of wheelchairs.
Are they wheelchairs, but it's Professor X wheelchair? I don't know if that counts.
No, I have real wheelchairs. The Professor X.
I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah, the
Professor X has regular wheelchairs. Yeah, I have a bunch of those. Yeah, I have a bunch of regular wheelchairs. But it really bums me out that the front casters don't actually turn. They're not like they're so close. You could have just made one more pivot on each of them, but instead they can't. They're not real functioning wheelchairs.
You only go straight.
I guess. And then but don't get me wrong. That Matt Murdock cane is super sexy. Like when I saw that, I was like,
well, it's just another guy in a suit, right? So
it is. So you can put anybody's head on
Tony Stark has a new body,
but what makes it Matt Murdock is that cane, and that that's a nice.
It's
detail.
Painted. They could have made it a white stick.
I know that is a really nice accessory, and I appreciate that the variety among all the accessories keeps growing and growing and growing. So it would probably be things like that. Like if I had a toy company, I would make more accessories that I would definitely make cars too. I would make cars that work for the toys. Like to me, that's a big one. Is just having like cars and buildings to fill your scene. That's the dream for me. It's just like
Kickstarter coming in 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's a weird left field thing because like I got all these action figures behind me, and they're like, Dennis, what do you want to make? Cars? Like, yeah, it would just vehicles to be.
Well, I think if you make it in the same light as the Robbie HasLab, where the light integration and all of that was specifically designed for toys.
Yeah, it was designed to be an accessory to toys, and I think that's what Shartimus is doing too, right? His street humans are meant to be accessories to your existing toy line, and I think that's cool. I think it's awesome. So everybody just wants to create little worlds with their figures and or recreate the world that's way better than the one that they go outside to every day. So why not?
Well, why not? Why should? How should? Let's should.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, he's having a stroke.
It's Loki time.
You know what I need to do, Ricky? Is, I like 2 years ago after our first year of doing podcasts, I put together a super cut of like all of our fun, awesome guests saying what they loved about Marvel, and it was really a cool thing. And then the second year, it was kind of hard for me to come up with something, but like I think in this year 3, I'm gonna do a super cut of your best segues, bro.
Well, I gotta give you some more filler now, so we gotta. I feel like I have some good ones, right?
Oh, you'll see. Come January or December, yeah.
Well, you don't have to wait till December to hear our thoughts on Loki season 2. Episode 1 came out yesterday, October 5th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I love the new evening start time. It's the greatest. Hope they never change it.
Yeah, it's dumb to release things at midnight. It's just rude.
Yeah. Ouroboros. Ouroboros. What do you think of this episode?
So Loki's back.
He's back. They if we had to put a quick synopsis, I mean, it just picks up right at the end of Loki season 1, where he returns back in the TVA, and you get to see essentially the next 30 minutes of that story played out.
Yeah. So it definitely picks up right where the last one left off, before their post credits, right? Like there's a post credit scene that we still haven't seen, and then there's also a post credit scene in Ant-Man Quantumania that we still haven't seen. They just chose to instead focus immediately on what happened after the regular ending of the episode of
What was the
last
post credit
season.
in Loki season 1?
It was them going to see a Kang or something like that, or was that that was the one.
That was Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ant-Man. They go see the King, Victor Timely.
Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
I don't think the last episode had a post credits.
Yeah, you might be right. I could be wrong. But yeah, I guess I was just thinking of the Victor Timely thing. In any case, I think that I could say a lot of negative things about this episode.
Oh,
I could, but I will start by saying the coolest thing about this episode that I think I really appreciated because it was something I expected last season. We actually got time shenanigans in this episode. There was legitimate time travel things happening. And I thought that's what last season was going to be. I thought we were going to do time variance authority kind of stuff, but we weren't really doing a lot of time traveling of any meaningful way. They were just going around pruning timelines.
Yeah, it's more about the ethics of time travel, essentially.
It wasn't actually doing anything cool with time travel. It was doing more stuff with multiverses instead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was the whole point of that season was to prep audiences for all the multiverse stories that came after it, right? It immediately followed by What If, right? What If came right after Loki.
And then Doctor Strange in the spring.
No, Spider-Man came after that.
Spider-Man and then Doctor Strange.
Then Doctor Strange. You know, so like Loki was there to set up all of this, and it's cool. It really did a good job of it. But I just thought I felt weird about like that T in TVA just being really not.
They weren't spilling the tea.
They weren't really doing the tea, and so I really liked that this episode was solving a time puzzle, a time travel puzzle. That was my favorite thing about this episode. Outside of that, I didn't really care so much. I like the actors that they've assembled? Yeah. Do I like the acting that they're giving me? I love it. I love Ke Huy Quan. I love Tom Hiddleston. I love Owen Wilson in this show. All three of them are super cool and they're awesome. But there's a lot of things going on that I just like. It didn't hook me. It didn't get me like excited for anything. It's like, okay, so everybody's mad because Sylvie something and they're gonna send an army to go kill Sylvie. Like, I don't know that like after this time away from that show, I don't know that I'm like super invested in that right yet. You know, they have to get me back in the mood for it.
I agree with everything you're saying. I felt like I entered this show like at a neutral, and I kind of ended at that neutral. There wasn't anything high. There wasn't anything low. A lot of it was
Ke Huy Quan was the high.
Yeah,
he was hilarious, dude. Tell me,
he was great, but there wasn't
when he says, "Oh no, not right now. Now we still need time. You got about an hour," and then a rock hits the window. You got about 5 minutes. You know, that was a good line. Like that was really funny.
You know what I mean, though. There wasn't like any shocks or big, like yeah, it was. It was neutral in that sense.
If there were, I didn't care enough to realize that there were like.
I think this would have been a better episode had you keep it as is, but add an extra 5-10 minutes at the beginning, showing the events of Loki from the TVA's perspective, or showing what those timelines are doing in that moment, and I just to kind of get you, ease in, and then a Loki pops in. That for me probably would have done a little bit more justice, but I did enjoy it. I will say this something changed. Like it almost felt like they have a different um DP. Like the way that camera moves this season,
Dude, the
it
camera
reminded me
work
a
was
lot of like
great.
Severance. Like
It
when
reminded me
they're
of Kubrick, which in fairness, Severance reminds
like
me of
when it
Kubrick a
starts
lot.
getting intense, like they make an, I mean, just like Severance, they make an office building look cool, right? Like
Yes, yes. Yeah, I will agree with you there. They did some really cool camera work in this show. I was appreciating a lot of the technical stuff in this show more than the
yeah,
story that was being presented to me. Like that's what I noticed.
it
Like a
was
lot of
artistic
attention.
camera work, but not. It was subtle. Like until you're paying attention to it, you start noticing it, but it's I don't know how to frame it. Like it's not over the top. Like it's just very
Yeah,
fluid.
but it wasn't just that. Like the attention to detail too. Like every time he would be doing a scene in one time and another,
Mhm.
like, and you get to see the set and the little details that were there, like that made it very evident to you what time period you were in. Even the color tone changed slightly. So in that scene where he's talking to Ouroboros in two different, it's him and Owen Wilson are talking to him in two different time periods. There's a cooler tone when it's in the past
Yeah.
and a warmer tone when it's in the present. And then yeah, there was just a lot of interesting little details going on. And then also you get to study the office his workroom, right? Or Roboros Obi's workroom in the past and in the future. It's different. Like it's got more things, more junk or more stuff added to it. There was a lot of really cool details, and the devil was there in the details. I really did appreciate that. I think that's what made me enjoy things that I was watching. Now, the thing that I didn't care about was meeting a bunch of new characters that I don't quite know anything about them still. So I don't know if I'm supposed to care about them at all. Like primarily the random hunter that just showed up to ask Mobius about jet skis, and then he's like, I actually don't care. And then Mobius was like, well, then why did you ask? That was what I was saying the whole time. I was like, wait, if you're just here to remind audiences that he loves jet skis, you could have done that in a better way than just be
An extra 5 minutes in the beginning.
I like it just didn't make sense to me. Like, why would you ask somebody if you don't actually care? Like that's just
Well, he
rude.
was just
Like
trying
rude.
to. Yeah, I mean, I think he's supposed to be a dick, but
Yeah. And then the other thing, the other big problem I was having was the rules that they were breaking in the TVA
they
made
break.
no
They do
made
break their own rules in that
they made no
universe.
sense to me. They made no sense to me. Like saying that time travel is impossible in the TVA makes no sense when like 5 seconds later you're talking about how the last time you saw each other was 400 years ago. Well, how are you measuring time if you can't if time isn't a real concept like in that universe? Like I didn't understand how
Mm,
like they've said before, like time doesn't work that way or time works differently here. But
yeah,
then if time works differently here, then how does 400 years measure?
we don't know what a TVA year is.
Yeah, I guess. So there was just little things that were just weirding me out and making it hard for me to like enjoy the show just for what it was trying to do. And I think the joy of the show really was Loki and Sylvie last season for most of it. Um, but I think it's been gone for me for so long that I kind of forgot like that I'm supposed to care. So when I got the last scene of like Sylvie in Broxton, Oklahoma, I was just
Like,
like,
oh,
"You're just going to McDonald's, bro? Like that's what
I
we're
mean,
doing?"
I
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I just like I
I
didn't
got my Loki
understand.
nuggets today.
I didn't understand why I was supposed to care like about her being in Oklahoma in 1982 to have McDonald's. And I think that's the
We're
whole point, right? Is
mhm.
the show's not letting me know what's going on.
No, I think it'll be a very much of a piecemeal situation
Yeah.
where I feel from just this episode alone, I think we will loop back to this first episode in some capacity.
Yeah, well, like it'll be something we'll go back and rewatch like 5
Mhm.
times and be like, "Oh, did you see that?" or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I gotta say, in all honesty, I watched it twice, and I was really trying hard to pay attention the second time. And what the hell is a time loom or a temporal loom? I don't understand. To me, like, where was this temporal loom the whole time? Because every time we ever saw out the windows of the TVA, it's always a city, a domed city. But apparently, if you turn left and look out that window, there's like this gaping, like
Yeah.
nothingness, and like all of time is being sucked into a machine. And you're like, where was that? And what is it? And explain how it works. I don't understand. Why do you need it? Like, and yeah, it was hurting my brain. Also, what was hurting my brain is like that He Who Remains or Kang, like had all this stuff built all over everywhere. And then one day he decided to cover it all up with mosaics. Like he covered up all of his own artwork with mosaics and then erased everybody's memories of him. And the weirdest thing is when Loki used a pruning device on the wall, why did the pruning device only do like a small section of the wall?
Well, it's battery powered. I think you're nitpicking, but I will we'll
It
reverse
was
it
weird
back a little
things.
bit. Were you surprised at the amount of King?
No.
Okay.
No, I was kind of annoyed that he wasn't actually in the episode.
I kind of like that. I
Mm.
well, I was
You know,
surprised. Given the real situation going on with Jonathan Majors, he's very much front and center. He does have the speaking
he's
words in this episode.
yeah, he's not front and center. His likeness is front
His
and center.
presence is front and center, but
Kang's presence is very very present. Jonathan
um,
Major's presence is not as much, but yeah, it's
he's there.
he's there. He's
Um,
there.
but I totally lost it. I liked how Loki is like very fearful of King, and it's funny because he doesn't really, at this point really know that it is King. He just knows it's he who remains.
Well, I think they have a really good line in there where he's explaining to Mobius that like because Mobius is nitpicking the name "He Who Remains."
Mm-hmm.
That's like naming yourself the last man standing, and he's like, well, I mean, it only it's only weird if you can't back it up. And then
Yeah.
he's like, well, can you back it up? And he's like,
Well, he was like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw the
yeah.
devil, and I can't remember if that's he or it made sense. I was like, that's
He's
kind of like it's really cool. I like to see a character. I think this only hurts Ant-Man, to be honest. Like, because he is, I don't know, is he a bit of a farce in Ant-Man Quantumania?
I think that character was just that version of Kang was just dumb in that movie.
Okay.
But that's a Kang. It's just one of them.
It
So
strikes fear. Kang's stock went up after this episode in my book, so leave it at that.
yeah, I think they're doing good at the hype, but I feel like the hype has been too long now, and we need to start getting evidence of why Kang is actually cool. And so this episode is kind of helping, but that's why I need an actual Kang soon to show up. Like it's
Fair.
getting weird. It's getting weird.
Like, similar to how everyone in the galaxy knew Thanos was fucking crazy. I need this and then subsequent shows and movies to start peppering in everywhere that's not our core six or our core Avengers to be like, hey, we all need to look at this guy real quick and stop him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of annoying how like so many people aren't aware of what he's doing considering how big of a threat he is, but in fairness, that's what Thanos was too, so I guess it's a nitpick, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, I love the set designs. I love the acting. I just didn't love the words that they had to say sometimes. I just felt like, I was just like, I don't know why I'm supposed to care about Hunter X5. I really did like that Hunter B15 was really making the case for we got to stop pruning because we are committing atrocities on an epic level, right? And I love that the judge, Judge Gamble, I believe, was really taken aback, or maybe it was General Dox. I can't remember which one it was. They were taken aback, but you could see in their pause, she was reconciling with the possibility that they had done wrong for all these centuries or years. I don't know. I don't know about time. And she was actually listening to B-15 and thinking about maybe we need to investigate this a little bit more before we keep pruning. And I really like that a level head prevailed and she said, all right, we're going to stop pruning for right now. That was cool. Like that was a cool scene, like where you could have expected them to go the opposite way, right? And just like I think you've seen a million movies where like they don't have time to go and investigate and find out. So they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out the door. We're gonna keep doing our thing. Like I really appreciate that this was the course of action that this person took in and I think these judges are there in place of Ravonna Renslayer, right? Because she's not there.
Yeah,
right?
she went off to go find a king.
I thought she got killed.
No, she's still alive.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. She didn't get killed. She pruned Loki, and that's how he ended up at the end of time.
Yeah.
I remember them fighting.
Yeah, she had a conversation with the B-22? Hunter
B-15.
B-15, and she went off to go find the creator, right? I think that's how she phrases it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good. Well, I'm happy. I figured just by hearing her voice in this episode that we're gonna get her back, and I do like her. I'm really excited to get her. No,
she's great.
Back. Yeah, but the new characters like Dox, Gamble, and X5. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about them, or how I'm supposed to feel about the random old guy that was sleeping through the entire meeting. Like, what was that? What was that?
I take a nap in meetings all the time.
Oh my god!
All right, and answer me this one question before we wrap up your final thoughts.
We're gonna wrap up already. All right,
yeah, coming there soon. Did that not tell me that did not look like the X-Men door?
Look more like a Kubrick 2000.
The fact that you know what door I'm talking about tells me all I need to say.
There's only one big door in the whole.
You knew it as the X-Men door.
No, I know what an X-Men door looks like, and so I was running through my head what doors in this episode were big like that, and I was like, oh, there's a door that's big. I don't think that looked like the X-Men door at all. I just think it looked like a Stanley Kubrick 2001 book door.
Fair enough.
But I love the colors. I love the little warning, about the radiation and all that. It was really cool. I loved that whole weird scene where like he's gonna Mobius
with the phone.
Mobius getting possibly risking his skin, like and yeah, all of it was very Stanley Kubrick. It just felt like I was watching one of his movies while I was watching that show. I just don't have any investment right now in the characters, but I want to. So I'll keep watching, obviously, because I do love Marvel. Everything they put out, it at least entertains me better than not watching it, right? So I think that's where we're at right now.
Lock in your pick now. Last season ended with a king, and that was a pretty big reveal. If there is a big reveal at the end of this series, what's your pie in the sky prediction?
They could reveal that Ravonna is Kang's wife
in real life, or I guess in a team
in the show.
Okay,
I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying.
No, I mean like sorry, I meant not in real life, but in one of the timelines.
Or this Ravonna is
okay.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Another one that would be even cooler was if we got introduced to the Mojoverse.
Another character in an assisted mobility device. So it loops
But
back on.
I mean, if we saw the Mojoverse and then went to go see Deadpool, that would be amazing. Like, because it's a very heavy speculation that Mojo is going to be involved in the new Deadpool movie, and that would be super cool.
I think we get a Deadpool.
You think we get a Deadpool in Loki?
I think we get a Deadpool in Loki.
All right.
I will concede it'll probably just be a mask or maybe some katanas, but there will be a direct Deadpool reference. And that's my stamp, Ricky spoiler stamp of approval that I'll throw down there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But would you settle for the Mojoverse?
I'd settle for Mojo. I want to see how dumb they make him. He's a dumbass looking. Well,
no, he's.
Do you show me the Mojo verse or do you show me Mojo? Because those are two different things.
Either.
I want to see Mojo.
I mean, we'll see Mojo eventually. We're just not necessarily on this show. You might see him. I don't know. Oh. I would be down. Like, if we're gonna do weird verses and stuff like that, let's tee up all the other ones. Like, because I hopefully, like, well, I guess we're not done with multiverses, right? Because we're gonna do a whole Kang thing for a while.
Multiverse saga. So
yeah, I guess. Yeah, just show me Mojoverse. That'd be cool. And if Deadpool's there, even better. Bonus.
I'll take the latter. What do we got next week? We got episode 2.
Well, I mean, there's more Gen V.
More Gen V.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a show or other show we're missing, but I can't think of anything now.
You know, when I was scheduling this episode, I noticed on my calendar today was originally earmarked for Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah, that pushed to next year. It is, right?
Yeah, it's pushed to next fall.
Man.
Yeah, next.
We're a month out from Captain Marvel, so
I'm excited for that. We can keep watching Loki until then. We could also, rewatch Ahsoka now that it's over.
Do you want to? We never talked about that. What's your yay or nay?
I liked it. The last 2 episodes didn't do as much for me as the 6th episode. I think it was.
It's 8 episodes, right? 6.
No, I'm saying, but
7.
The flashback episode for me was the best episode.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that it teed up another sequel story to keep going. And I saw a funny meme talking about how this show was the better sequel story to the Star Wars trilogies than the actual new trilogy was. And it's kind of true, because this story was more about the legacy of Anakin Skywalker than the Rey trilogy is. Like, the Rey trilogy is just like, I don't even know how this relates to real Star Wars. And then they just kind of force it in, and they're like, oh, she's Palpatine's grandchild. Okay, I didn't know I cared about that. But in Ahsoka, you actually have, the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, and she has a lot of baggage that we get to explore. And I thought what's really cool about the show is, for a while, I was feeling a disconnect. I was like, I don't see it. I don't see this Rosario Dawson version being the same one that I watched on Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. But then when we got to that flashback episode, and you got to see both of them, and you got to see all of the trauma that she's experienced, and even beyond what we've seen, then it made more sense. And then what happened after that is, as she started getting all of her friends back together, you start seeing the cheerful Ahsoka start coming out of Rosario Dawson, and she transformed into the newer, grown-up version of the Ahsoka that we know. And it was a really cool thing to watch. Like, so I really did watch. I liked watching her be Ahsoka for these last few episodes, but the story of the episodes was just like, okay, so we're just doing a switcheroo.
Yeah.
We're just okay, switcheroo, and then we're ending. All right, cool, whatever, that's fine. But Ezra's awesome, and I'm super excited to see him, in future Star Wars stuff. I'm just kind of like, I'm really sad that Balin's skull is still alive because they're going to replace him with an inferior actor. That makes me sad.
Or not. I mean, imagine the balls if they just the sequel to this is another animated show.
But it's still replacing the actor.
That's true, but
Yeah.
get away with a little more there.
I wouldn't mind another animated version. It would make it easier to not have Balin. But Ray Stevenson was just a pure joy through this entire show.
There's a great nuance to his just character in general of I don't say like agnostic, but like it's he has a weird,
he's just a true
and
outsider
interesting,
among all of the
take
all of
on the
Jedi.
Force and the Jedi and the Sith, where he doesn't shun it, and I think that's what makes it cool.
Yeah,
he embraces it, and
he's a very unique Ronin that lives out there, and and then you get the whole can of worms opening up when they show him standing behind or in front of the statue of the gods of Mortis, and you're like, oh God, I can't explain this to people who didn't watch Clone Wars. This is why I'm like, I don't understand how people who have never watched those cartoons are enjoying this on the same level, or at least on the same level as me, but they can't. But don't make me explain those. I'd rather go and enjoy my Friday night. But I just let you know that if you ever watch them, so many more things will make sense about Ahsoka than they already did. So yeah, wow. But I think it's a great show, and I'm not mad at the last 2 episodes. I just don't think they were nearly. They peaked a little too soon. They peaked.
Well, Ahsoka's a great show. Loki maybe hasn't peaked yet, but a pretty good show. If you, ladies and gentlemen, liked this show, what can they do?
They can like and subscribe, and they can follow.
Patreon.com/DanXmedia.
Yeah, they can find us there. They can find us everywhere at DanX Media or at Ricky the Nerd.
If you're on Instagram this month, we got some cool toy photography that you're doing. Throwing up some shots of there. Yeah.
I'm trying to participate in ACBA's October Challenge. I've put out a new toy photo every day this week. No promises that that's sustainable for me to go till October 31st. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard. So, but yeah, that's just one of the many things you can find. Every now and then I'll also be posting updates on the HasLab Giant Man campaign and other stuff. So go look for me.
Other stuff indeed. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. Thanks again, true believers. Enough said.